Hey guys, and welcome back to Triple J Podcast. Got some bad news. I wasn't able to find any guests today. Jeez.
No.
What do you mean? Where'd you come from?
You see, I heard the thing, where you've been having other people other than me, without me. And it really hurt my feelings, so I decided to run all the way here, and I waited to hear those words.
Oh, gee, I mean, okay, well, do you even know what movie we're doing one on?
The Lion King?
We already did that. No, we're doing The Lion King 2.
Oh my god,
No.
I'm excited.
No, instead we will be doing Indiana Jones Raiders in the Lost Ark.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, kind of changing it
It's
up.
kind of weird. I kind of watched that this morning before I came here.
How convenient. All right, well, you want to join me then?
Yeah, I'll join you. Why not?
All right, well
Let's
then,
talk about it.
welcome back then.
Oh,
Glad to
thank
have you
very
back.
much. I know I can't be replaced. So
It's been so difficult.
Mhm.
David and I and ET we were talking like how he was going to replace you, and I went no, no chance. But either way, probably the best way to start is to start talking about this.
Yeah, let's do it.
So Indiana Jones probably. Have you seen this film before today?
No, this was actually the first time I actually watched it. I heard about it. I've always heard how great it is, but I've never actually watched it. And until today, some people even call this the perfect movie.
Yeah, which okay.
So until today, I had no idea until I just watched it today, and I really enjoyed the movie. I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did.
Yeah, it's one of those films that's just kind of really well known, but then you watch it and you're like, oh, that's why it's known. So it was directed by Steven Spielberg, but the story was actually done by George Lucas.
Really?
Yeah, so
that would explain why I enjoy it. I love Star Wars, so
exactly. It was also produced by Lucasfilm as well. So they were very close friends.
Wow, yeah.
I
I did not actually know any of this.
So that's probably also why Harrison Ford plays the main role, since he played Han Solo
I know. I was
as well.
so happy to see Harrison Ford.
Yeah, this is a very different role for him as well. So the film came out in 1981, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. This film was actually done shortly after Star Wars, mainly because George Lucas wasn't sure how big of a success Star Wars would be. So
he did this one.
This is like his backup of like, okay, if this one fails, I got another one.
And
in
next
the
thing you know, they're two of the biggest film series
they're
ever.
both fantastic.
Except Star Wars is maybe a little bit bigger, but
Well, the budget was $18 million. How much do you think it made in the box office?
Raider, you talking about Indiana Jones?
Yep.
So, I think it had to make over. I'm gonna guess it made over $500 million. Not 500 million. I think that, or it's a little bit under, or it was a flop on the box office and then became a cult classic when it bought to DVD. But I'm pretty sure it did succeed. I'm gonna guess it made more than 500 million.
It made 389.9 million. And that was actually considered a really big success.
I know, because back then, money, again, it's different because inflation now, but back then money was worth a little more.
Yeah, back in 1981, it was one of the highest top-grossing films, and today it is one of the highest-grossing films with inflation, of course. It won a couple of Academy Awards. It actually won 8, including blah, blah, blah. Best Picture, Best Art Direction, Film Editing, Sound, and Visual Effects. And that was in the 5th Academy Award. And in 1999, it was included in the U.S. Library of Congress for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
Definitely.
Now, we talked about that before slightly, but for anyone who doesn't know, it's essentially when a film becomes so important in history that it's deemed worthy to go in here. So, for instance, some of these films, such as Breakfast Club and E.T., as we've previously talked about, those were entered, and that kind of took a shorter amount of time. While on the other hand, the 1950 Cinderella wasn't introduced until around, I want to say 2016, 2017. So it really does take a long time to get there. But the movie was very successful, spawning 4 sequels, a prequel television series, which I didn't know about, and a couple video games, including my favorite, the Lego one.
Oh, I actually did play the Lego one.
Yeah,
when I was little on the DS, I played Lego in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I had it on the PlayStation 2.
I even had the second game, but I never did play the second game.
Yeah, I knew they had more, but I was just kind of there of like, oh, it's Lego. So, the film begins. It's 1936, and we are with a whole bunch of archaeologists, and they're all trying to find this little totem, which, for some reason, this scene in specific is so well known by tons of people. They all know it because of the rolling boulder and because of everything. So, for this to be the beginning of the film, I thought that was interesting. Did you think that scene should have been moved forward, or do you think that was a good spot for it?
I think that's a good spot because it really introduces you to who Indiana Jones is. He's an adventurer. He's an archaeologist that you can go through. He's good at dealing with danger and dealing with this stuff, and it helps you introduce who the character is straight away. Especially since in the beginning, you don't really know much about him. And just seeing like all this happen, you can tell like you can start learning who he is just from these scenes. And It's kind of crazy because like again, like you said, the beginning is like I feel like the most remembered out of the whole movie of what I watched because of the boulder and all that.
Yeah, and there are a lot of very memorable scenes, but this is one of the highest of like you think Indiana Jones, you think that boulder essentially, and we have so it is the Idol of Belloq?
I think
Belloq.
I'm not sure. I just watched it this morning.
They made a joke about it being like a hard name to pronounce throughout the film. So the Idol of B, and then they get a booby trap, and then this one person comes out and he goes, "Ah, yes, Mr. Jones, Dr. Jones." So it's like, oh, he's a doctor. Cool. And he takes the idol, and all of the indigenous people, they start running after him. And then we start hearing the famous theme song. Dun, 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 dun.
Let's just be fair, though. This whole movie, Indiana Jones is the luckiest person alive.
Oh, are you kidding? Yeah.
The amount of luck that he has.
Within this one scene, he escaped death about 3 times, if we're counting the hole, him being crushed by the boulder, being shot at by the people with their little tube thing or whatever, jumping on a plane, and then having a snake in the cockpit. It's like, this is either a very lucky day or unlucky day, and I don't know which. So, yes, this is also where we're introduced to one of his friends. And then they fly away, and we're seen into a teacher area.
And I was surprised to find out like he's a teacher, and apparently, one of the students really, really likes him.
I thought that was going to play more of an important role.
Well, me too. I really thought when I saw the eyeshadow, like I don't know what she put on, marker, eyeshadow.
I figured it was just pen, which, let me say, that's pretty impressive. She had to close her eyes and go like, okay, that feels like a backwards L. Do you think she did that a couple days ago, but like it was backwards and he was very confused? I'm like, what's that say?
That, or maybe her friend did it for her?
That's true.
Yeah. So,
Did you notice most of that classroom was mainly
girls? I know. I saw it was mainly girls. I even said that, and I was like, is he teaching like at a school for girls? And then I saw like one or two boys.
Like, oh, okay.
Like, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, like, sure. And then we have the introduction of 2 Army intelligence agents who they come up to him and they start kind of talking to him. Oh, by the way, his workplace is called Marshall College in Bedford, Connecticut.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that an actual place?
I'm not sure. I can look for it real quick.
I should wonder. Because what I like, I think, going through the film, like I'm just gonna say, I feel like they did do like the research on how everything is, like through, because you know how they were describing how to get stuff, how to get through, like when he was describing all of the traps, to get to this.
You could tell he did this before plenty of times. He knew exactly what to do. Like, don't get in the light.
And I'm saying it was really good how, like, especially from the acting from Harrison Ford, like it felt like he was an actual teacher teaching the class.
Yeah, it is. And apparently the class name is called Archaeology 101. So, all right, very creative. So I can't find anything right now on it, but so yeah, the 2 Army intelligence agents, they come up to him. And they start telling him that the Nazis are searching for his old mentor, Abner Ravenwood, who he's there. I thought it was interesting for them to include this during the World War II era. Do you think if they were to, like for comparison, let's say they put in the 50s or even the 60s, do you think they would lean it towards something different, or do you think that this was a good time period?
I feel like it was a good time period for reasons, for specific reasons, because you have the German army who need it, who want this because, it leads, because the Ark is known for victories. It's known for winning. It's known for being able to destroy mountains just with having the Ark to make it invincible. So I feel like if you're going to do the 50s, you'd have to go through something else. You have to, because while I feel like it works, this is where it works best.
And by the way, when you mentioned Ark, it's the Ark of the Covenant.
I know the Ark of the Covenant from the Bible.
Yep. Just so everyone knows.
So I feel like while it could have worked with another time period, I don't feel like it would have worked as perfect as it does with the Nazis. I feel like this is like the one, like, it works perfectly because they're known for being one to destroy. They're known for like being, a military that wants to be super strong.
Yeah, so there already is a clear reason of exactly why.
Especially with the leader, the leader that I have, it makes sense why he would want the Covenant.
Which, let's talk about him. Do you happen to have the actor's name?
Oh.
Well, you try to find him. He had a very different enemy role than I thought he would play in the film. Because for some reason, whenever I thought of the enemy in this...
Dr. René Bullock, I think it was. Bullock. Are you talking about the French?
Yeah, what's his actual name?
I think... Oh, you're talking about Paul Freeman. I'm pretty sure that's him.
Okay.
I think so.
Sure. I'm not good with actors. I'm good with films.
Or maybe it's him. It might be... No, because it's the major. No, it'd have to be this one.
Yeah, it would have to be him.
Yeah.
Because people on a podcast can clearly see what we're pointing to. But yeah, I thought he played that enemy role very well.
Yeah, especially like it was like completely different from what you'd expect because he's only there for hire. He really doesn't.
He's just kind of there.
Yeah, he doesn't really care for the art. He only cares about to have it so he can get money out of it.
Yeah,
that's his intentions.
Which some could say like, oh, that's a cliche. You shouldn't do it for money. But at the same point, back then in 1930s, you needed money. So people would do almost anything to do that. So eventually, Indiana Jones, he explains, all right, we need to find an Egyptian artifact known as the Staff of Ra. And Indiana Jones finds out, oh, okay, they're going to use that to find the Ark. And then that's when that'll all happen.
But before that, then after that, they actually end up having to travel to Nepal. And then that's where we meet the love interest.
Ooh.
Karen Allen. Or how I like to think of her. I hate you. I love you. I hate you. I love you.
Wasn't her name Marion?
Oh yeah, Marion. But no, I'm saying the actor is Callan.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I'm just saying the actor's name. But yeah, we meet Marion. And, she's the girl that's like, I hate you, I love you, I hate you, I love you.
Yeah, it's like that, what was that 2010 song that was like it's yes and it's no.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I actually don't know the name of it. Shoot.
It's something like that. Listen to that song, that's her. Because, you're right, she did go back and forth, but it was because of that she was a very fun character to watch. She seemed the most, to me, real.
That's true.
Out of everything. And she runs her own tavern, and she's with a group of guys, and they're having a drinking contest. She wins because she's cool.
I'm just gonna say, she definitely won. It's not because that's how the story's supposed to go. Not because it's Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
it's not because.
Yeah, obviously, it's like of the two, it's got to be one of these things. So yes, this is when Jones walks in and. He's like, give me the amulet. I know you have it. She goes, no. And he goes, okay. And he walks back out in the snow.
Before she pays her.
Oh, yeah, $3,000.
And then it says, I'll come tomorrow. And I'll probably tell you about it. And then he leaves. And then, dun, dun, dun.
It's Arnold Tot.
It's the Nazis.
It's the Nazi.
The Nazis comes in. And he's like, tell me what you're going to tell to your friend Indiana.
I want the headpiece, and then she's like, I'm not going to tell you. And then this is when he actually does become more of an evil character, takes out what I guess would be like a fire stick or whatever you call it, not the Amazon thing. And then you take it out and was about to burn her face. And whoosh, gets the whip.
Yeah. And then we have this whole fight scene with gun shooting.
Which I don't know if you noticed, there was very little music being played.
Oh, I did not notice.
Yeah.
That.
I thought it was just I couldn't hear it at first, so I listened to it again. There's not much music actually playing during this scene. It's just bang, 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 bang.
That's actually really good if you don't really notice that there's no music going on, but like the fighting scene still happening.
I feel like the music would have been really loud, and that could be it. But yeah, because of the lack of music, you were able to understand exactly what's happening when, and like it was essentially this entire just domino effect of what was happening.
So they're fighting. Indiana Jones gets taken from behind. Yep. And he actually gets, again, one of his lucky moments where he gets stuck there. A fire is coming towards him. And he just asks Marion to give him a bottle of whiskey. Takes a bottle of whiskey, hits him in the head. Able to go. The fire goes through. So, he escaped through that.
Do you think while he was there, he was thinking like, all right, do I ask for the whiskey, the bourbon?
Probably.
I had bourbon yesterday. I'll have whiskey.
He's probably really calm. He's taking... And then what happens is the German, sees that, Indiana's about to die. And of course, I don't know what he was thinking. He's like, kill them both. Obviously, then all of a sudden, the guy who has the gun, the guy who's trying to kill Indiana, turns on him, shoots his assistant, and then goes back to trying to kill Indiana.
Yeah, it's like, why? Just get the job done. And then this is also when the Nazi leader tries to pick up the headpiece.
But it's so hot because of the fire.
Because it's surrounded by fire, you idiot. So he goes outside, buries his hand in the snow, which is what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And then essentially Marion's entire tavern burnt to the ground. It's gone. So she goes like, I'm doing more than giving you the amulet. I'm your, word I'm not going to say, partner. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And then they travel on over to Cairo, Egypt. Mm-hmm. Really hope I pronounced it right. I think that's how you pronounce it. And they meet up with Indiana Jones's friend, Sallah, who he's nice. Yeah. I liked him.
Especially like he has a whole bunch of...
He's the comic relief.
And then over there you have a whole bunch of children. And of course, the greatest thing alive, the monkey. Not the one...
The monkey, I was like, it's a little monkey. Who's a good little monkey?
Oh, very, very good little monkey. He definitely was.
I love him. He's great. Nothing wrong will happen to him. Oh, no. Spoiler alert.
But yeah, no, he's a very, very, very good monkey, definitely. He lists, he 100%, is
he listens, ally. He wears clothes. Yeah. He's like Abu.
Except, he works for the evil guys, but...
he's a Nazi monkey, but it's fine.
It's fine.
So yes, Sallah informs the two that Belak B is going to be looking for, or that the Nazis are digging for the Wells of Souls, which is supposed to be where the Ark is located. And there's also this whole idea with him and his family, and they're all they're all playing around, and this is where you get like those cute little scenes with Indy and the girl.
Also, but before he also shows him the amulet, shows Sallah the amulet. And like that's where we find out, where he can he has a friend that can help them, solve the amulet so they could try to find.
Which I thought.
Wells.
Let's fast forward to that scene when we meet the friend. That guy had like 2 lines.
Yeah, he was there.
And his main idea was that he's old and he has a beard. I don't know his name.
I don't think they ever said the name.
They don't say his name. And his first lines are come. It's like,
and then his last lines are.
Yeah, which people could definitely say. Yeah, he just kind of moves his hands and goes like, bye, see you later. But it's during that reading that multiple things happen. One, they realize that the Nazis are taking in the wrong place.
Which helps them a lot.
Which is like, yes, thank goodness. And then also, when Jones is about to eat a date...
the monkey
dies. So
because they
Sallah
ate a date
saves
before,
his life.
And so we know that it's poison. He throws the date up. Sallah grabs it just before... goes to his mouth and he's alive. But now we have to go back in reverse because we have to go back to the whole market scene.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is where the monkey's with them. All of a sudden the monkey leaves.
No, right? Monkey.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, I wonder where to win."
And Jones is like, "Yeah, whatever. Let's keep going."
And then we find out the monkey's working for the communists, not the Nazis. I'm so tired, man.
No,
he's
you're
working
fine.
for the Nazis, and so we find out that the monkey, I don't know how he spoke monkey, like that guy. apparently speaks monkey.
I guess it's just a talent. It's like a Disney film of like
So-
what's that, little Robin? Billy fell down a well.
So they find out, the monkey basically tells them that Indiana's there. So they find out, the Nazis find out Indiana's there. And so they're sent out to go stop Indiana. And so they end up going to the whole market. They find Indiana. This whole fighting scene starts happening. Also, I loved how Marion was fighting. She legit was like if you saw in the background, she looked like she was barely hitting them, but they were getting knocked out.
Yeah, like
dog. that's legit how it looked like. Like she was just tapping them and they were getting knocked out.
Yeah.
So I love that. And then she Indiana picks her up, throws her behind a cart, and the cart leaves, and people start chasing the cart. And then when the cart gets, the cart eventually stops. She gets off, starts running and running and running.
As one would do.
And then finds a pan, fights this other guy who have a knife, and they start laughing. And then she's like, well, I gotta go. So she starts running.
I got some serious Tangled vibes when she picked up the frying pan. I was like, I've seen... Tangled already did this. And I'm like, oh, wait
this did it
Indiana
first.
Jones did this first. But this is also when Indy sees... I guess what you would call like the Master of Swords. That's what I called him. But he was like, he's like showing off, and he's like,
I was laughing so hard. He breaks his sword. He's like, he's taking Indiana so seriously. Indiana grabs his gun. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
And everyone's cheering like, yeah. It was just like this soft laugh that's like, oh yeah, because that's what you would do.
What is it? And then I want to go back to her.
We go back to Marion.
She's running. She goes behind a door, and the guy chases after her. But of course, he doesn't realize that she's gonna be like right behind the door. So she gets knocked out.
Yep.
Drags him, all the way off. She ends up running more.
And she hides into a barrel.
Yeah, she has a barrel. And then everything goes fine. Then the Nazis pass her, and then the monkey
came back.
The monkey's here, and again, like he said, he's working for the Nazis. So it's like.
Basically right on top of the barrel. And it's like, you stupid monkey!
How could you?
We were friends.
So takes the monkey, and she ends up getting captured. And she's like, Indy, help! Help! And Indy hears this, so she starts running to find her.
And then he comes up to this giant market scene full of tons of barrels, which this scene struck me as odd because imagine this, right? You're there, and then you see them all holding the barrels or whatever, full of laundry, I'd say. And then he just starts throwing them all down.
People were getting mad.
People were getting mad, but I also saw some people like doing the same of like, well, all right, c'est la vie, and just throw it on the ground. It's like, are you kidding? Okay. But he does eventually find her, and then they...
Wait. You're missing a very, very big part.
Am I?
So, yes. They end up going. She ends up, still captured. She goes behind a truck. She's inside the truck now. And after
right.
Indy's trying to fight, so he basically, it's him with a pistol versus a guy who has a machine gun. The machine gun guy is keeping him away. They start off. Indy gets off, kills the machine guy, kills the driver. The driver rams in, turns around. I didn't think anything was gonna happen. Then,
yeah, and then it's like he just walks over. Mary, no. And then we're all. Which even then, I was sitting there watching the film like, she ain't dead.
Yeah.
You can't introduce a character for 10 minutes.
She's dead, guys. Don't worry. She's
right.
Don't worry. She's
Don't
dead.
apply. She's dead, guys.
Legit, when I was watching, I was like, she somehow escaped. They're not going to tell us how she escaped.
Yeah,
but she somehow escaped.
And then Indy and the monkey share a drink. And I'm like, I would kill the monkey. That
was the same way. I was like, keeping the monkey alive?
Yeah,
you're friends with the monkey?
Yeah, the monkey would be the number one thing that should be like, you're getting thrown off the plane next time we go up. And then we start talking more with Belloc, who's like, you can't kill me here, so let's just talk for a little bit.
And so they try to kill Indy.
Yeah, because he was about to.
No, because Indy was like, I don't care anymore, and then guess what happens? The children come, like,
Uncle Indy.
Indy, come. And I'm like, if this was actually taking place, they would not care.
I was about to say they would like. Did you notice everyone kind of put their guns down? It's like no, they would probably go like, all right, I'm going for the short one.
So I was like, all right, it works.
And even Belloc is like, all right, next time, don't expect children to save you. And I'm like, that's kind of a cool line. I like that one.
So Sal ends up meeting him, and they end up going back to the house.
And they go back, and
this is
kind of fast forwarding a little bit.
This is where we get to that scene, before where he meets the friend. And then this is where we find out that, they're digging in the wrong place, and the staff is like, what, shorter or
72 inches minus a couple.
So that's how we know,
So that's how we know what's up.
Yeah.
But just kind of fast forwarding a little bit, Indy crawls down this hole and he finds what looks to be a replica of the whole area, which...
Wait, before we have to go, because this is Salah's job, and this is basically the Nazi stronghold.
Right, so they're disguised.
Mm-hmm. So they're disguised, and I don't know how, like... Did they ever say how they discovered that hole?
It was fenced off.
Okay, there we go.
It was like perfectly fenced off. They're like, that's the place. So they go down there. He gets the staff with the little medallion in it. They put it in. Light shines down. They go, that's where it is. And that's when Indy looks back up and the rope's gone because Salah was taken away. Because they're like, no, that's restricted. Don't go there. Nothing's there.
But was it Salah that came back?
Yep, Salah came back and he had a whole bunch of laundry.
And do you know what it was at the end of the laundry?
The Nazi flag!
Woo!
Which they had no problem just showing straight to the audience. Which
after we stop describing the plot, I'll say like what I love.
Oh yeah, no, I already have an idea for a special guest after. But I mean, we don't have any guests coming. But
no.
Dang it, no. But yeah, so he crawls back up or climbs back up, and then they start digging in that place. And they're like, dig, dig, dig. And they get down, and you see essentially this giant, what would you call it? Kind of like underground temple?
Yeah, well, I mean, first, we have to go back, because they have to bring all of the people. So again, this is like, they're in the Nazi stronghold. People could actually see them digging, but they're like disguising themselves, so it's like really slow process.
Yeah, and Belloc is actually the first that goes like, what are they doing?
But that's later. And so no one's really noticing what they're doing. So that's like, it's Indy and Salah being smart. They have, everything, and they're doing it. And so they finally dig through. At the very end, you know what they find? Indy's favorite thing in the world, snakes!
It had to be snakes. And I thought that's pretty, especially for Salah to come up later and go like, oh, this is that type of snake. They're dangerous. You go first.
I love that.
That was good timing. But yeah, so they eventually do go down by throwing down a whole bunch of torches of fire because they don't like that. And then Indy does something that really caught me off guard. He starts lighting them with gasoline or whatever, and then takes one of the torches, burns all the snakes, and I'm like, whoa! I thought you just didn't like them.
No, he hates them.
And
then what I loved is when he goes like, Salah, you come down too.
Yeah, you get down here.
And he sits there, he's like, he has his mouth open like, no.
Yeah, like, are you nuts? No. And sure enough, comes back down.
So Salah comes down. While this is happening, guess who's having oh, by the way, we didn't mention this. Guess who's alive?
The monkey!
No.
The monkey!
Marian's alive.
Oh, yeah, her.
So, Indy, we forgot to mention this, Indy ends up finding her, like, in a tent. Do we know how she escaped? No. Do we know how she's safe? No. But
do we know how long she's been there?
No.
Not a flippin' clue.
So, we end up finding out she's alive. He ends up leaving her, saying he'll come back for her later. And so, guess who gets, really friendly with her? Bella, or I don't know how to say his name. Dr. B.
B.
Dr. B ends up getting really friendly with her, gives her a nice dress, and starts having a crazy drink with her. And they start going like
drunk.
Yeah, they get drunk. But again, now we'll go back to Indy. And so with Indy, they ended up going through. They end up finding the Ark, and they push this huge piece of wood or stone. No,
okay.
Stone.
Let me see if I can get this. Possibly. No, I won't. It won't play. But either way, I was trying to play it on Google Translate. I can probably do it on my phone.
Probably.
Just because it's such a difficult name to say, and we don't know how. So, I did do some more looking up on the Marshall College as well. Mm-hmm. It is located at 1636 Marshall Road, Bedford, Connecticut.
Oh, so it's an actual place?
That part's undetermined. Because I'm on the Indiana Jones wiki.
Ah, okay.
And this could be all factual, or it could be just stuff that's just kind of talked about. Oh, here we go. Marshall College is named in honor of Frank Marshall, a regular collaborator with Spielberg and a producer on the Indiana Jones series. when the college scenes were originally shot for Raiders of the Lost Ark, there was no perceived need to name it. But when the novelization was being written, author Campbell Black needed to call the school something, so Marshall College was conceived. Marshall himself forgot this unit when the film crew returned to shoot the college scenes for Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. He began seeing his name everywhere. Could you imagine just going there and you're like, whoa, why is my name here?
Oh, and it's kind of like weird because like Indiana Jones, it started as a movie over, right? It started as a movie series. Before it made a book.
Yeah.
It's like Star Wars, where like it never had any like pre-thing to like make it before. It was legit just a creator making a movie, and then like books were written after.
Yeah, which I thought was really cool that they did it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Belloc.
Belloc.
One's in Latin and one's in English.
So we'll just say Belloc or Belluc.
We'll switch it up every now and then. Mm-hmm. You know who we're talking about, though.
But yeah, no, Indy goes there and they pick up this like crazy, apparently like heavy stone.
Yeah, and they like destroy, bang, right on the ground.
Yeah, they take it, bam. I thought like the snakes were gonna get like aggravated and start attacking them.
Now the snakes were like, oh, well, we better leave him alone.
Some of us died, but it's fine.
It's fine. And so, then this is when they discover the Ark.
Yeah.
Like,
and then we go back to the drinking. So we go back to the drinking, and then guess who comes in? The Nazis are back.
Okay. And have you seen John Mulaney at all?
No.
Oh no! I'll show you it after. There's this one scene where he's talking about it, and he said something similar to you. It's like, and there's Nazis again. So it's like, okay.
We ended up finding out before that we ended up finding like that Nazi guy ended up burning his hand.
Yep, he has the symbol engraved.
Doesn't mean anything. Like legit, that you see it one time and it does absolutely nothing.
I saw it one time. They played violins and dramatic music like I was supposed to know what happened, and I'm just sitting there like, cool. He got a really painful tattoo.
Mm-hmm. So then they ended up
they lift it up out of the ground.
Wait, we stuffed it.
All right, fine.
Okay. So we ended up going, back to Belloc and the girl. Belloc ends up going, outside and ends up seeing the digging happening. He's like, wait, what's going on there? Wake up, everybody! Wake up! Take them up! We're going up!
Which reminded me of, the term Minutemen?
Yeah.
Like the people that were ready in a minute for war. That's what it reminded me of because I'm like, dang!
So then we go back to Indiana Jones.
Quick.
The whole thing is up. Salah's the first one to go up there. And then... Before,
mm-hmm. I want to talk about the silhouette scenes because those silhouette scenes when they're all digging and then you just see kind of Indy walking around there, that was possibly the coolest shot in the film for me because I'm like, this is so cool. Because it was just, you don't see much and it's like this, what I would want to call like an angry sunset kind of thing because it's like harsh red and I love it. I just want to talk about that. But so, dun, dun, dun.
Nazis are back.
Nazis! And there's Nazis again.
And so they have the military, but that goes right in front of the circle. It's like, Indiana Jones, you're going to die here forever. By the way, he says this many, many, many times.
Yeah, he's like, you're going to die here. Nope, you're going to die here. Nah, you're going to die here. Maybe.
and then he's like, he basically says you're going to die here. And you know what happens? The Nazis are like, we have a gift for you, and they drop the girl.
And he's like, ah, shoot.
And then the like, no,
my girlfriend that I would never have a chance with.
Oh, whatever.
Whatever, it's fine, bury it.
So yeah, no, so
and then she's like, I'll get you for this.
So they put the thing back, and they're stuck in there, and
then credits.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's
it. Nope, but Indiana, quick on his feet as always, goes, I got it. He climbs up one of the idols. And he starts rocking it back and forth. The torches are all starting to kind of fizzle away. And then they go, da-da-da-da, bang!
Dun-dun-dun.
Right into the wall. And then Indiana's just lost. We don't know where he is. And this is when we kind of take over Marion's point of view. Mm-hmm. And this scene, I remember when I first saw it as a kid, freaked me out so bad. Because I did not like it. How it was all just the skulls and her running around in those. Because it didn't make sense that they were talking, like going like, ooh, oh. Shush! You went ooh for a minute.
Ooh.
Yeah, you went like, oh, I got an idea.
Oh, no. So what I was like that was because I remember something. If you go all the way back in the beginning, when the light trap happened, and remember there was one of Indiana's friends went there before him.
Yep, and it went.
So boom, we see a guy still alive, who's inside the spikes. If you saw, his head was still moving like this.
Oh yeah, when it was like moving towards Indy, and he's like he's just like, yeah, whatever.
And that was Indiana's friend, and he's still alive, and that just reminded me of the skull and all that. Yeah. I'm like, oh my god! And I just realized that. Oh, by the way, we never did talk about this, so we're gonna go backtrack again, all the way back in the beginning. Beep, so everyone who was with Indy backstabbed him.
Essentially, everyone he knows.
Yeah,
just
so
went, like,
when he went through and all that, he found the thing, he had it, and then he had to trade his whip for the thing.
Yeah,
so he throws that, and next thing you know, the guy's like, bye!
Yeah, he just went adios, senor, and you left.
And you know what happens? He gets hit by the spikes.
He didn't avoid the light.
And so
like he told him.
Yeah, and he ends up getting away. And now we can go officially back to this scene. Sorry. We just never talked about it, so.
If we're going to talk about the movie, here's the place. So, but yes, so they're stuck there, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, and she's screaming so loud. That I think that's what got me, was how loud she was screaming. And then Indy's like, calm down. Nothing's happening yet. Because then he finds light, bangs out of there, and then this is when we see this kind of airport facility, you call it, and he's like, we gotta do something, we gotta stop that plane, essentially, because it has the Ark on it. So he runs up, and then what happens?
So then he goes up, one guy sees him, boom, they have a boxing fight, boom, he wins, he goes up, this huge guy sees him, goes after, he has another boxing fight. But
Marion walks up and she's like, I'm stuck in the plane.
No, so Marion ends up taking the plane. She takes out the pilot, goes in the plane, and then she starts shooting down
while turning left.
Yeah, she starts turning left, but she also goes into the gutter to start taking down any people. She also hits a barrel of gasoline.
Star Wars.
She hits a barrel of gasoline, and him, Indy, and this huge guy are still fighting. They fight. Indy gets like 5 punches in, the guy's still up, takes Indy 1 punch, Indy's down, gets up, and then next thing you know, she turns around, and the guy ends up getting destroyed by, the propellers. Yeah, he ends up getting wrecked by the propellers. They don't show the scene because we obviously know why they don't show the scene.
But they show the surrounding scene.
So by the way, I just want to say, I'm pretty sure Indiana Jones, with just his luck, could take down all the Nazis.
Oh, yeah. Single-handedly, he could stop World War II.
Yeah, so...
Everyone thinking Chuck Norris could? No, Indy.
Indy could. So, then, she gets stuck, and guess what happens? We haven't seen this before. Fire starts, and it's starting to come for the plane.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. And he goes up, shoots his gun to take out the lock. They grab her, and they end up running. And next thing you know, boom, explosion happens. They end up... But here's the thing, the Ark wasn't in there yet.
So it's still safe.
So it's still safe for the Nazis.
Because then they go on to a boat.
Well, before the boat, we have to go through the whole entire drive scene.
Drive scene?
Yeah, remember the whole car chase scene?
Oh, yeah, that was... Yeah, because it's still in a car.
Yeah. So after they get through, what was it? They take a truck and they end up going with the car. Because, that seems to work every single time in Indiana Jones. And
what I loved was that Harrison Ford, who plays Indy, looked like he was having the time of his life, just going like just kind of pushing people a little to the left and right.
He was okay with killing people.
Oh, he was like, this is great.
Before that, again, we have to go to where he takes a horse, ends up going on this. By the way, none of the Nazis see this happen. Like, no one's trying to stop them.
They're just driving, listening to some tunes.
They shoot him maybe a little bit, but there's not like, you have a machine gun. Why not? By the way, the people in the behind who can see him still there, they don't do anything. They don't care.
Yeah, they're like, well, because today we die.
Yeah, no, so then he takes the driver, he takes the guy, pushes on, takes the driver, takes him out. And the next thing you know, the people in the back in the car, he kills them by hitting them and they go off the road. Other guy comes with a motorcycle. He hits them, but they only like go over. But I'm pretty sure they're still alive. They look like they're still alive with the motorcycle.
People are like climbing on the side of the truck as well, but he just kind of brushes them off.
Yeah,
like
and
they're alive.
But then
they're fine.
My
Walk it
most
off,
like
sport.
scary scene is when I see him and I see this car going. He hits them off, and he hits them off a cliff.
Yeah, it was like, jeez,
Indy, no,
Indy, what happened?
And then everyone's like, and then there's one guy left. He takes out basically everybody except for one guy who goes on the top. He's the only smart one, I think, out of all of them. Instead of going to the side, he takes the top, gets in, takes Indy, hits him out of the window. Somehow Indy grabs the front, goes through the bottom of the whole car, gets to the very back, uses his whip to slide, which I think would hurt very much.
Oh, definitely.
Climbs back up, goes in, and basically does the same thing to the other guy, except the other guy was not able to hold on and gets run over by the tires.
And they show that.
Yes, they show it brutally.
Jesus.
And then basically the guys in front are like, oh no, they try to slow down to try to stop him. He hits them, but they're still alive because, they're the main villains. They have to live.
Obviously.
So then they go back. Indy gets through, and Sallah makes like this whole plan. Basically, they have like this garage open. He goes in, they close the garage, and they make it look like a marketplace. And when the Nazis get there, they don't know what's happening, and then they
which was some 007 kind of ripoff. But yeah, so they do end up saving him, and I want to fast forward so that we can also get to the little guest. So eventually we get to the boat, right? And this is when we have to say bye to Shala. Poor Shala.
Wait, before... Yeah, no. It's fine. Yeah, no. We say bye to Sallah. They end up going, and then him and Marion are inside his quarters. Indian is very hurt, and then she goes there. He's like, it doesn't hurt here. She kisses him there. A lot of kissing happens.
Kisses on the elbow. I was gonna call it the outer knee for some reason. The elbow doesn't hurt on
head,
forehead. Doesn't hurt on his eye, which was like ew.
And then the lips.
I don't know anyone who kisses.
And of course the lips. And so then he falls asleep.
It was like a reverse Snow White situation where it's like, Indy, wake up.
Yeah. He ends up falling asleep.
So, yep, and then eventually she falls asleep. We fast forward.
And then we get...
Nazis!
The Nazis are back, everybody. Who doesn't love the Nazis?
But yeah, so the Nazis come on and they're like, all right, we got to find them. So,
and then what?
We got to find him, we got to find Marion, and we got to find the Ark.
The captain says they killed Indy.
Yep. Do you think they have like a checklist too of like, all right, so when we get there, what's up? Well, I made a list. We need Indy, Marion, and one other thing. I can't think of it though. Do you remember?
Oh, I think it's something. Snow White.
Oh, is it?
No, it's the right.
And they're like, you idiot, and they just throw him off the ship.
So obviously, they end up getting the Ark. I'm surprised they left them alive. They left the ship to live on.
Yeah, it's like, blow up the ship.
So they left the ship to live on. Indy swims through the river, swims to the submarine, was it? Or I don't know, a ship? I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of like this little boat.
Yeah. They end up going in. He ends up getting in there, basically sneaks in. He takes out a guard, takes the uniform, but doesn't fit. So another guard comes in. He knocks that guard out, and I think he takes his uniform. Yeah. So he's on the ship now, and he's over there. He ends up hitting his Bellic, but of course Bellic doesn't know it's him, so he just walks forward. And then, do you remember what happens from there?
Blah, blah, blah. I'm kind of going here because I just figured out that the sea they're actually in is called the Aegean Sea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's it's in the Mediterranean Sea between Greek and, oh my goodness, Anatolian peninsulas. I completely butchered that, but yeah, I don't know. That's kind of neat. So yeah, once there, Bellic starts to kind of talk about what the Ark can actually do and the power for it, and this is before he presents it to Hitler.
Yeah, and then he basically tells them they have to open it now to make sure.
Yeah, he's like, we gotta make sure it works.
So they get to the island and they end up having everything, and then Indy comes with an RPG. He's like, give me the girl. And you can keep the Ark. I don't care. It's like, here's the thing. I was looking. I was like, or I'll shoot the Ark. And I was looking. It's like, if I'm the Nazi, I'd be like, give him the girl. Just give him the girl. That's all he wants. Just give him the girl. It's over. I don't think he doesn't have a chance.
Indy's still just like, yo, give me the girl. I know what'll happen. Give it 2 minutes tops.
So,
and sure enough, they tie him up.
No, because he doesn't. Because they basically Bellick knows that he wants the Ark to open. He's curious as well.
Yeah, he calls his bluff, and he's like, "All right."
It's like, and so Indies was there. They tie him up, ends up holding him, and next thing you know, they have, I think, a Jewish priest there. I'm not exactly sure.
Sure.
I think it's a Jewish priest. Ends up they open the Ark, and they find it's just dust. That's it. And end credits.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing interesting. They actually open it up. It's just pecans, almonds.
I will say this scene
nuts.
really, it made me question why it was PG. This scene made me question the PG.
This is rated PG?
It's rated PG.
Oh my. Yeah, there it is. PG.
It made me question how this was rated PG.
Well, it's going to be a cliche, and many people will hate me for saying this. It was the times, but nowadays it might be PG-13.
Yeah. I was watching this with my brother, so I looked.
Cover your eyes.
No, I covered his eyes. I was like, "This is PG." I thought this was PG.
Yeah, but it's the so they open it up and the spirits on like this heavenly light.
Yeah. Well, first nothing happens, and then the Nazis start laughing like, because they think
it's empty.
Yeah. Next you know, the light happens, and like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And then for some reason, Indy knows they have to close their eyes.
Yeah, Indy's like, cover your eyes. Yeah. Which, in fairness, if something like that did happen, I feel like anyone would be like, don't look.
Yeah, you would think the Nazis would know that too, but no, they don't. No. So they close their eyes, and next thing you know, these spirits come, they're beautiful, and then all of a sudden they turn to horrifying figures. Oh, when they opened it and they were laughing, the wrath of God basically happened because all of a sudden power went out. Things were getting destroyed, and the Nazis had no idea what was going on. And then all this was happening. Spirits are flying everywhere. All of a sudden, turns to a nightmare.
The angels of death.
Yeah, angels of death. And then lightning happens or whatever, like comes out, kills all the Nazis. And then,
which when I was watching this, I'm like, this has to be 13, PG-13.
Oh, by the way, and before that, like legit, they were showing the
melting.
Yeah, the melting. I was watching this with my brother when this was all going on. I was like, oh my, this is not PG.
Which I watched that when I was younger, and I didn't really understand what was happening yet. But then when I rewatched, I'm like, that pretty impressive still of how that all was. So yeah, especially with just the way that it did turn out in the final credit of how it had to have been like stop motion or something, but it was very well done. Especially with that.
All the Nazis disappear. And
they all disappear.
And then go to the U.S. government. The U.S. government has it. And that's the film.
Yeah, they go to Washington, D.C. And then they're all set to go. And they're monitored by top men.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Which Indy questions, but they don't want to say. So
yeah,
that's the film.
Yeah, so one thing that I like to do, as I've done in the other films as well, is talk about where you would see yourself in the film. Like, would you... not specifically, like... Are you Indiana Jones or anything like that? But like, would you be that guy that is like someone in the bar with Marion? Would you be kind of like in the car with Indy, going like, "Are you kidding me? Don't throw him off a cliff." So where do you see yourself in this film?
What I see myself like you said with the car with Indy. I'm like, Indy, don't be stupid now. Just go through.
Yeah, I saw him. I'd like to be around with him during the marketplace scene.
I don't think I'd like to be when he's with the Nazis on the island, though.
No, probably not. I'd be like, I think I'll wait on the boat.
Yeah, I'll wait on the boat.
I'll be here. You do your own thing.
Yeah, but
now the time has finally come.
Also, wait, another thing is...
Or not.
Wait, again, there's a bunch of, like, plot holes in this, because, like, we don't know how he got back. We don't know how she escaped. We don't know how any of this, but it's like, it's Indiana Jones,
how did he get his whip back?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's like, wait, before we go to the plane, let me just get this real quick.
So, that's,
So, yeah, that about does it. But now we have a special guest. Special guest, if you will also drum roll. Hi, Ma.
Hi.
So
many. I have a question. I've heard you guys talk about the Nazis, but does anyone know why the Nazis was in the film?
No. Would you like to? By the way, before anyone goes like, "Who's this?" This is my mom. She was in some of you may remember from the Muppet movie,
which is one of the best movies.
Which is one of her favorites. Which we might be doing one on the.
We will be doing one on the next one.
Why does every guest comes in here and they claim ownership of this podcast? They're like, in my podcast. It's like, let me have this. So, yes, if you want to explain that.
Well, the Nazis actually historically went after treasures. And so part of this with the Raiders of the Lost Ark also did it the same way. That's why they were fighting the Nazis. They were trying to get this first to prove that they were the superior race, which was really what the Nazis were about back then.
Yeah, they really wanted all the power.
Which is why you see the Nazis in this. I know a lot of people need that clarified because they might not know that. But historically, that was one of the things Lucasfilms did to really make sure.
Especially with Anthony, you said you saw this with your brothers. Did they have any questions about anything going on, or they kind of understand it?
He's 7 years old. He did not understand anything whatsoever, and I just went with it.
Yeah, when I was younger, I figured that, because again, you're not really taught it until like, what, 9th grade, 10th grade, that you're kind of more like, oh, okay, they're just bad people.
Yeah, he was just questioning, like, did they die? I'm like, I don't know.
This took place in 1939. I'm pretty sure they're dead.
He asked me, he was like, is this a true story? I'm like,
yep.
yeah, definitely, 100%.
Yeah. Harrison Ford, he was clearly Indiana Jones.
Actually, we know they were going after the Crystal Skull, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And we know there's one in Britain.
Mm-hmm.
So they do have him there as well. So this was something they were after at the time.
And that's true. Yeah. And I haven't seen the other films. Have you?
The Raiders of the Lost Ark, yes. And the same idea, the Nazis were in that one as well, fighting for treasure.
This is Raiders
This
of
is
the
Lost
Lost Ark.
What's the other one? The
Crystal Skull.
Crystal Skull.
Yeah, there were 4 in total.
It was the first 2 that they were in.
It was India.
Okay, so the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which and then the others, they just kind of, did they do anything different?
And you notice it wasn't really Hitler was being brought into this. It was the Nazis, because you got to remember that the Nazis were their own group first.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought I just wanted you on here so that you
Thank
could
you.
kind of elaborate upon that.
Well, I'll be in the next one, or maybe...
Oh yeah,
one
don't worry.
after
We
that.
already have an idea for who we want to do the next film, which I don't know which Muppet film we'll do because there's... Hold on. You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's The Muppet Movie, 1979. The Muppets Take Manhattan. The Muppet Christmas Carol. Muppets from Space. Muppets in Space?
Muppets in Space.
Muppets in Space. Yeah, that's right, because... Anthony, I don't know if you know this. Muppets in Space used to be called Muppets from Space.
Oh, really?
But then they finished the film and they went, no Muppets actually come from space in the entire film.
Really?
Yeah, so they changed the name from In Space. And then Muppets and Muppets Most Wanted. I think that's about it. We are not doing them all. Muppet Treasure Island. Forgot about that one. We're not doing...
There's Emmett Otter.
No.
It's my favorite.
Anthony, I'll show you the
outtakes are the best.
the outtakes,
Okay.
because that's the only redeeming quality of that film. But either way, do you have the rest of the films that Indiana was in?
So you have Indiana the Lost Ark, Indiana and the I have to keep looking. Indiana and the Temple of Doom. You have Indiana and the Last Crusade. Yeah, then the 2008 one and Indiana. I'm actually not sure. And the last, Indiana and I'm waiting right now.
That's fine.
And the Crystal Skull, and of course, the next one in 2021, Indiana Jones 5.
Woo! Which is supposed to have Harrison Ford in it.
Yes, that's what it looks like. It looks
Yeah.
like he's again the main actor.
Which, yes. Score. That's released to hit theaters in 2021, and they'll begin shooting in 2020. So, I guess we have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
We're almost into 2020. We gotta get all 4 of these other films out before then. Gee willikers.
Well, Jared, if anytime you need a call, just call me. I got you.
Oh yeah, I'm all set. But yes, as I said, now the one thing I wanted to talk to you about in the Wells of Soul scene when they're in the pit, how many snakes do you think were used?
Well, okay, I have a question. Those weren't real, right?
They were real.
They were real?
The only venomous snakes were the cobras, but one crew member was bitten on set by a python.
Huh. I didn't know that. I thought
Yep.
they were all. I thought most of them were fake.
Oh no, I got the entire list if you want.
Okay.
Well, you guess we have the bulk of snakes.
All right,
The
wait.
bulk of the snakes' numbers were made of with giant but harmless legless lizards. So not really snakes.
How? Dang. I want to say around 300 to 200.
What if I told you it was almost 5 times that? With 7,000 snakes.
In that one room.
In that one room.
So legit, he was probably...
Well, there were also 1.3 meter legless lizards that were supposed to look like snakes.
So
There
Harrison
were
Ford was
7?
actually...
They weren't poisonous.
Except for the python. Not
Except for the
panther,
python. Which only one person got hurt. So, yeah.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a...
That's great. Could you imagine, like, signing up for that? Of like, good morning, world. And then you're, like, Steven Spielberg. All right, we're going to put you into this giant pit. It's going to have 7,000 snakes. What was that? 7,000 snacks? 7,000 snakes.
I'm good.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'll quit.
Peanut butter crackers. And he gets there and he's like, get in the hole. No. I'm good. It's fine. Only one person got bit. One person, it was poisonous. He's in the hospital now. We're good. Get in the hole. And he's like, you better be giving me raise. Yeah, sure, whatever. Kicks him in the hole, I bet.
Legit. Oh, that to me, yeah. That's crazy.
That's 7,000 snakes, though.
Dang.
But, yeah, no, if you want, I can go and get my snake for you so you can see it.
Yeah, let's do it. Is it poisonous?
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, well, I'll go get it. You end the podcast then. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys there.
Scores?
Oh, right.
Scores.
Dang it, my bit. All right, so let's say out of 10 snakes.
That's all I say.
Yeah.
Python snakes.
Out of 10 python snakes, how many snakes would you give it?
8. Only reason, the loopholes were like crazy.
Yeah.
they were really making me question what was going on.
Yeah, I would. You know what? I'm gonna give this 9.
Oh my god!
I know.
Yeah,
I didn't match. I didn't match someone's score for once. Crazy.
You're doing this out of spite for me, aren't you?
No.
Out of spite.
No, I can look past the loophole of this film because of how well it was all written.
Honestly.
And how well the shots and angles were.
Honestly, legit, I would still, if I probably had more time to think about it, I probably would give it a 9.
Don't match.
No, I'm just saying, I probably would, but the thing is, like, I only just watched it this morning, so I've had, like, very little time to think about it until now.
I've had about 2 days.
Yeah, so I've had a little bit of time to think about it, like,
you're gonna come back tomorrow and go like, I give it a 10. Perfect.
And also, another thing that a lot of people actually mention in that film is if you take Indiana Jones out of the film, the whole film would have still been almost exactly the same.
Essentially. Yeah, you're not wrong, but I still just liked the... I love the line delivery, I think, which was great. Was like, in one scene, Belloc goes, like, I want it so I can talk to God. And then he goes, you want to talk to God? Fine, we'll see him together. And it's like, whoa. Okay.
But, I found the film really amazing. There's very, like... honestly, I probably would give it a 9 if I had more time to think about it, but I've only had this morning,
yep.
So I've barely had any time to really like go through it. But Indiana Jones is amazing, and if this is like one of the films like I would recommend, like
definitely
to really watch. This is definitely one of my recommendations. Lion King Live Action, never watch it.
Jeez,
now to watch that film. But
I'll recommend it. I liked it.
One more thing I like to say just before we end it all is
jeez, why does that sound so depressing? Okay.
Is what I also loved about the film. I think legit because now even more thinking about it, I would give it a 9 now. Just because legit now.
Yeah, I want to hear your reason.
Again, because like I remember how I mentioned it like when I entered in the historic value of it.
Yep.
And like the things about that make me. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I appreciate that even more. Because you have so many films now that would try to censor the Nazi flag, that would censor, even saying Nazis.
Yeah. And
you have so many films like that, but like seeing this film do it like back then when it was even like so close to the time period when the Nazis were alive.
Well, yeah, it's like, shoot, when did the, no, not Sound of Silence, Sound of Music, that came out in 1965. But either way, they were still... talking about it like and this happened.
And Sound of Music is probably like my favorite musical.
Yeah, which
I love the Sound of Music.
We could do one on that too.
And legit, like I said, I think I would switch this to a 9. Just the only reason I would switch it legit is because like how historic it is and how it keeps it like the historic
keeps it entertaining for all.
And that's one thing I love is like this film legit. Again, the more I think about it now, is making me enjoy it even more. And I think I could definitely enjoy this in the future. even like
Definitely.
watching it definitely in the future.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's go.
All right, well, let's go see the snake.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
all right, well, thank you everyone for listening, and until next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.
See you later.
Snake. Ah!